What do my idea was coming through once again, and on today's video, I got a crazy ass story to for you guys, man. This took place in High Desert State Prison. For those who know, man, High Desert State Prison is one of the most dangerous prisons in California. 100%, hands down, man. For those who don't know, and I can tell you that this event that I witnessed on this beautiful morning was the most, or one of the most violent that I ever witnessed behind a prison wall. And the reason why these individuals decided to do this, man, is gonna blow your mind, you know. But before we continue with this video, man, do not forget to hit the like, a comment, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, hit the subscribe button. It does not cost you nothing, and at the end of the day, you help on my channel. For those who've been supporting the channel, muchas gracias. I highly appreciate every single one of you guys. The goal, man, I want to see 500 likes, man. I think the most we had is like 400 something. I want to see 500 likes, man. So that's what I'm gonna ask you. Let me see those 500 likes. I'll highly appreciate it. So show some support, por favor. So this happened in one of those prisons, right? See, I feel like sometimes High Desert, people don't speak about High Desert that much, but that place, it was horrible. It was bad. Everything about it was bad. I mean, the program, the institution, the cops, the food, the stations, everything was bad. I'm telling you. Uh, and the thing about that is, it was more like you couldn't get out of that place. You couldn't get out of that place, man. They were not, like, when you go to community, they're not gonna let you go nowhere. You know, simple as that. And a lot of people, I mean, hated to be in that place, you know, because it was too many lockdowns. It was when we were not on lockdown, it was something that was happening. And man, it sucked. So one time, these individuals, two of the six guys were from, that I know is from Orange County in San Diego. And they all got together, right? Uh, they wanted to move on some guys, but these individuals got together because they wanted to get out of that prison. You know, they're not doing it for pointers. They're not doing it to be recognized. They're doing it because they want to get out of that prison. Yes, all of these individuals are lifers, so they don't care. You know, they're like, man, you know what? We can do a pegada here and there, and it doesn't matter. We already got life, you know. So everybody got to work. They needed to make some weapons, which those weapons were provided by the plumber, and they were taken from the the backside, right? So the plumber had access to metal, which he was bringing it on the tool cart. They used to walk with the little tool cart, helping the plumber, and he eventually managed to slip it under the door. People were start sharpening those metal pieces, make it into a nice fierro, right? Once they had the weapons, they knew what they had to do. They had to plan everything uh, to the perfect. Make sure that those three targets were gonna be on the yard, you know. And it was a nice yard, you know. Yeah. High desert. I'm gonna tell you one thing. It sucks to be up there, but the view, I think it had one of the best views, man. It is very nice to see the montañas with a little bit of snow and stuff like that, you know. Sometimes you see the eagles up there, and it's nice to be out there in the yard, but it sucks because something is gonna happen. So on this occasion, it was nothing less, right? Something was gonna happen. It was gonna be something big, and it was something big. And I remember these individuals, they're walking the track, you know, just in two groups, like two by two, right? There was six of them. And as they saw their targets on different positions, they're apart from each other, you know. It's not like all the targets were right there in one spot. Now there was one in front of building 5. There's another one building in front of building 1, and there's another one over there by the gym, right? And they all decided to go off at one time. They proceed to get at. They proceed to stabbing these guys back to back to back, like to the point where they were not stopping. They're trying to make a point and basically unalive them. Put two guys on each individual, both with their weapons. And can you imagine what the inmate was going through when he felt like, man, these people are about to take my life? You know, the interesting thing about this is that usually High Desert is known to shoot the Mini 14, but on this occasion they didn't do it. What was the reason? I don't know. But as the as the tower saw the attacks and told everybody to get down, once we all got down and start seeing these three different events, these three different stabbings happening at the same time, and seeing that inmate be on the ground, overpowered by two individuals who are stabbing him without a sign that they're gonna stop anytime soon. That sucks, man. Imagine that at that point is that guy is like, man, I'm done. I'm done. And the guys who put in work, there were no little guys. They're big. They're big individuals, heavy set, and the guys who are on the ground being attacked, they're being overpowered. They're being overpowered 100%, man. Eventually, all the cops from different buildings, from the program office, from different yards, responded, went into the yard to assist in trying to control this big attack on these three individuals who, as time passed by, it seems like they were losing their battle, but with life. Eventually, for some reason, they decided to stop. Once they had the cops right next to them, pepper spray them, hit them with the batons. Because trust me, High Desert is going to hit you with the batons and it's going to hit you in the head, side of the ribs, or on the ankles. And eventually this individual stopped. They prone out. The guy who was close to a building one decided to throw his weapon over the fence with his shirt, and that was it. That was it. Aggressors went down, cuff up, as medical assist the victim one by one. And I'm pretty sure they didn't know what to do, who to take first, because they were overwhelmed 100%. As I saw this event and basically realized how dangerous this place can be, man, because when you see something like that, man, when you're witnessing something like this, man, when you see a man being overpowered by two individuals who have weapons and they're not stopping, that's when you're like, man, this is a very dangerous place. One thing being involved in a riot, and a riot is free for all. Just go kamikaze, hope your boy got your back, and you know that if you end up on the floor, you hope that one of your homeboys gonna help you. But in this occasion, it's different. Nobody's gonna help you. You are on your own, and if you don't have nothing to defend yourself with, all bad for you, So they took everybody out off the yard. Everybody was stripping. We were out there for hours as they collect the clothes. They make sure they picked any evidence of what had happened. Could be the fragments of the grenade that exploded, the rubber bullet from the block gun, and they took everybody, right? Of course, after this, everybody got picked up, handcuffed, and escorted to their building, to their cell, and it was a long lockdown. For what I know, out of those three individuals, I think one didn't make it, but the two did make it. But it was an event that I will never forget. I will never forget, and it actually showed me how dangerous prison can be, and I don't wish this upon nobody, man. This is the thing I'm talking about. Everybody seemed to want to claim that they were here or they were there, But how many of those guys were actually right there? Not a lot of people. Those who know and been on those yards, they know how serious things can happen, you know. And here is where you learn how to respect the next man. Because if you don't, if you're slipped with something, the consequences will be deadly. And this could be an example of the brutality of a place like that. So with this being it, that's it with the video. Muchas gracias. Thank you for the support. And for those who've been in places like this, man, you know what's up. You know what I'm talking about. And one thing we do understand is that CDCR put us in this place. Of course, not a lot of us had that choice. It goes with your points, it goes with the years that you had, and eventually, as the years pass by in prison, it's all gonna everything's gonna depend on your behavior. And trust me, places like this were not cool. And a lot of people like to brag that I was right here, I was over there. And sometimes you do question that, you know what I mean? But for those like us who've been on that place, man, we know what's up. We know how dangerous that is. And that shows you how to be a very respectful individual and be careful with what you say. All that, I was like this in prison, and then I got out of prison and start acting in a different way. It doesn't go, come on. But to each his own. Highly appreciate it. We're done. To the next video. Muchas gracias.